First and foremost, as always, I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High and His only begotten Son, call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach All right, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well, Wabarakatham, to the hopeful elect. All right, now today through the Spirit, I want to go into a video entitled Plagues. Okay, plagues. And when you go into this second Ezra, the 15th chapter, it deals with how the Lord says he's going to plague Egypt again. Okay. Now, Ezra was during the Mede-Persian Empire, the time of the temple being rebuilt. See, when the Israelites were coming together to build the temple, the Mede to the Persian Empire, right? So that was way years after the ancient Egyptian Empire. So what that prophecy that was being revealed to Ezra when it said the Lord says he's going to plague Egypt again, he was alluding to America, which when you go into 11 and verse 8, it describes America as being that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Okay. And how can you liken America unto Sodom and Egypt? Well, look at what's pushed out here. Freakism on an all-time high. You have the Fruit Loop community, all right, that's being pushed here. OGRYs and shit like that. That's what's type of stuff that goes down here in Babylon the Great being America. And also, you have, it said spiritual Egypt because it has the northern kingdom and southern kingdom in bondage or captivity. And when I say northern and southern kingdom, I'm talking about all 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. The southern kingdom are the Judeans, which they were known as being Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right. The northern kingdom are the rest of the tribes of north of Israel. Okay. You see, which is so-called Native American, Indians, Mexicans. Okay. They all got placed in captivity here in America, just like they were in ancient Egypt. Because when you go into the history of the other captivities, it was just when you read Daniel the 7th chapter or Daniel the 2nd chapter, right? When you break down Daniel the second chapter or Daniel the 7th chapter, that specifically just describes captivities where it was just the southern kingdom, the Judeans in captivity. It wasn't the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. It was just the southern kingdom in a captivity. See? So when it says spiritual Egypt, it's alluding to it being a current captivity where it'll have the northern and southern kingdom, which we see right now. And that's what we believe through the Spirit is America, man. Okay? So when you read Revelation 11 and 8, it describes it as a great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Okay? And so when you deal with spiritually being called Sodom and Egypt, that applies to here. And Ezra was seeing a vision of that spiritual Egypt in 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter. All right, where the Lord said he shall plague Egypt again as before. And when you go into what happened to ancient Egypt, the ancient Egyptian empire, they got boils all over the skin. There was famine because of the water being turned into blood. There was frogs. There was locusts eating up all their crops. You see, the firstborn of them got killed. He put a plague on the animals to where the animals were dying off. You see, well, the Lord says he's going to plague Egypt again. You see, because America is taking on that same spirit. And so we've been seeing throughout the years various different plagues being sent here, right? Which we had the C19, which we understand that they created that BS and it was fake, which this is not medical information, by the way. You know, it's, no medical information. We got to call that because they flag our videos. Okay. But to the